going on, y'all? Another episode of Less is More. Chilling out here in the green room, brown room at Bogart's. Today, we got a special guest for you. Guitar player extraordinaire from Tom Keifer. He's also in these side gamblers. This dude's, you just got to see it to know what I'm talking about. Tony Higbee. What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
How you doing, my man?
Good.
Yeah, sit down, brother. It's your green room, not mine, man.
It's all
So what's been going on, man?
Oh, man, just here playing Bogarts tonight, and then we leave tomorrow morning, well, around noon, and we fly to Romania. And then we're doing 3 weeks in Europe. So,
Wow.
kind of getting ramped up.
Have you been in out of the country like that before playing?
I've been out of the country, but not playing.
Oh, so this is gonna be a first for you.
It's
That's
definitely a
neat.
different, it's a different thing, having to figure out, strip down what it is you're carrying with you, take the bare essentials to be able to go over and play music, rented amps every night, different backline, and just a little different,
Right.
Definitely out of the comfort zone in a lot of ways, but I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be an amazing experience.
Oh, it'll probably be.
And the European fans are, pretty rabid rock fans, so it should be a lot of fun.
Right. So, I know we talked before, and you told me this story. Tell the people how you met up with Tom Keifer. This is a cool ass story. I love this story. Most of my friends have already heard it.
You want the long-winded version?
Yeah. However you want to tell it, brother.
Well, okay, so I moved up. I moved to Nashville in 2003. I lived in Atlanta for a few years, and I was originally from Central Illinois. But when I moved to Nashville, the first guy I actually met in Cinderella was Eric. And my sister-in-law was actually in his band, The Naked Beggars.
Okay.
I actually hooked them up because they needed a utility player, and they wanted a girl, and she was perfect for the gig.
Right.
And then through Eric, I eventually met Fred and Jeff. And Fred had come in to see me where I worked at the time, which was Guitar Center. And because I do a lot of artist stuff, pricing and all that, and I take care of Eric and I take care of Jeff. So Fred came in and saw me and asked me about my band at the time, which was Caprice. This was before the East Side Gamblers.
Oh, okay.
And he actually came out and watched us play one night at a club, 12 and Porter, and loved it. And so I think he kind of planted the bug in Tom's ear a little bit, about the band. Well, then fast forward to a few years later, and Tom was secret. Well, he wasn't making it public knowledge that he was releasing that solo record yet, or going out touring or doing anything with it.
Right.
And he had actually asked a buddy of his, Blair Daly, about possibly any ideas for guitar players, maybe sing harmonies, so on and so forth. And Blair couldn't think of anybody at the time. Well, I actually know Blair because I had played on some stuff for a producer in town named James Michael. And James sings for 6 a.m. Blair writes, he's a big songwriter, says James had written songs together. So I met Blair through James, and Blair couldn't think of anybody at the time, and then weeks passed, and Tom actually had to come into where I worked to get something. And he called me up, and he came in. I think he walked in the room, and I was listening to music that he liked, which is usually the case. I think it was like Humble Pie or something.
Right. Okay.
And he always hangs out. We shoot the breeze for a while. Then he took off. Evidently, when he left, he called Blair and said, "Hey, man, what about this Tony Higbee cat?" And Blair was like, "Oh, he'd be perfect." It was just super cool. Blair was a big fan of the East Side Gamblers and Caprice, and he'd seen the bands.
Right.
And so Tom wound up giving me a call and asking me if I'd be interested in coming over and just playing with him and seeing how the chemistry was. And I went over. We just played acoustic and did a couple songs. I think we did "Ask Me Yesterday." We did or something else in there. But and a couple of electric things too. Like Solid Ground. Just me and him jamming and singing together. And so
Right.
we blended. It went really, really good. And then the band came together really quickly after that. Paulie, I knew, was looking for a gig, and he's one of the best drummers in Nashville, period. And so I called him right away. Then Paulie actually was one who reached out to Billy, and then Tom already had Paul Taylor. And I think initially the thought was it was going to take a while, maybe find the right guys or find the right chemistry. And me and Paulie and Billy and Tom got together the first night.
smooth sound
Yeah,
from that on,
So
dude.
it came together.
When it
way-
clicks, it clicks, man. When it
by
clicks, it
Tom's own
clicks.
admission, it came together way easier than he ever would have thought. Yeah, absolutely. And it was pretty seamless, you know.
So, what's the difference? Oh, I know what the difference is, but how different is it for you to go from playing where you was playing in Nashville, basically a local band, to playing with Tom Keifer, world renowned? You know what I mean?
No, I get it. No, you know, he's a really real person. So he's a good friend. He's just a great human being. He's a sweetheart. Couldn't ask for a better guy to play for. So it's you know, that aspect of it is really easy. It feels really normal. But every once in a while, still 3 years in, I'll be standing up there playing and singing. I'll look over and be like, "Damn, I can't believe I'm playing this guy."
Man.
You know, he's a great dude, and you know, it's a lot of fun.
Right. So, what's up with Eastside Gamblers, man? Are you still? Is that still something that you're doing on the side? Or?
Absolutely. We're going into the studio. I'm out with Tom pretty much with a few days to spare until mid-November. And the Gamblers, we did some shows, you know, through last winter, the spring, and early summer, and we haven't done anything for months as far as playing shows. Now, on the other hand, we've been writing and recording demos for a producer we're real excited about working with out in Nashville, and I'm gonna kind of keep a lid on that for now. But he's produced a lot of my favorite records over the years. You know, I just want to make sure everything's, you know, it's all good. We have an all systems go on, is what it sounds like. But you know, we're gonna do a new EP, and we're probably gonna track that in between. If I had to guess, Thanksgiving and Christmas. We have a possible show pending right in there too, so we'll probably start playing live again around there. If we don't play before the holidays or during the holidays, we'll play like probably mid-January. It looks like with Tom right now, we're already starting to book 2016, which is awesome. We're doing the Def Leppard cruise in January, and then we'll kind of see what shapes up in the spring and summer. And then, you know, the Gamblers just kind of work around that.
Right.
But you know, we did a lot of writing, a lot of demoing during our time, you know, our time off from gigging. You know, it's kind of picking and choosing our windows. And it's not just me, you know, I'm busy with Tom, but then I got a drummer who travels a lot for work. I got a brother who has a girlfriend, a wonderful girl, but she lives in New Orleans, so they're back and forth traveling.
Right.
You know, a guitar player, my other guitar player Josh was out playing with Karabi, doing the Motley 94 thing this year. So everybody's schedules have just been kind of all over the place.
Right. Man, I was checking out some of this video that a good friend of mine and yours, Denny Smith from Great Affairs,
Yeah.
the Bombshell Crush.
Uh-huh.
Dude, I believe you. I want to say you played bass on that. Was you playing
Yeah.
bass on that?
Yeah.
Dude, that shit rocks too, man.
Yeah, I started off playing bass. Guitar was actually my second instrument.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, you wouldn't know it.
Well,
Because
thank
I'm
you.
telling you,
I started
this
playing-
cat's a bad mother.
Well,
You know what he is.
Well,
bad.
I started playing bass when I was a kid. My dad had a bass, and he had an amp, he had a rig. And then you know, it made sense. It was easy. I mean, not playing bass was easy, but it was there. It was available.
Right.
And so I played bass, and I love playing bass. I still have a P bass, a J bass, and an SVT rig, and all that's in the house. And on occasion, I will still play bass. But when my brother moved to town, my brother Cody, we started jamming together. First in Grease, and then, you know, the Eastside Gamblers. He's a slam and bass player, and it's a lot more comfortable for me to front a band playing guitar. It just so happens that I've been doing it long enough now, and I picked up guitar mainly for writing songs. And guitar players always kind of fascinated me. I gotta be honest, I was more a fan of a lot of guitar players than bass players. But I picked up the guitar to, you know, mainly for songwriting, and it kind of stuck, and I really enjoyed playing guitar all that time too. So I did some studio stuff here and there, but then when Cody and I started Caprice, it made more sense for me to step up front and sing and play guitar and have him play bass, because that was, you know, obviously what he does. And now I've been playing guitar long enough in Nashville that I'm known more by most people these days as a guitar player than a bass player.
Right.
So, but it's fine. I love it, you know. I love playing guitar. It's a blast. I mean, I can play guitar with get to play guitar with with a guy who's just an amazing front man and guitar player, and Billy, the bass player in this band, is absolutely killer. You know, he doesn't leave anything. He doesn't leave any empty space.
I've seen you guys before. I mean, everything you're saying is a fact, man. I know this.
So it's you know, so yeah, so that's just kind of how it worked out. But yeah, Bombshell Crush, Denny Smith and I have known each other for years. I actually moved to Nashville to be in that band.
Oh,
with
really?
Denny back in 2003. I mean, that band did a lot of great things for me. You know, I met a lot of people in town right away. The band, you know, had a lot of success on a regional level in a real short amount of time. And I met my wife the first night I lived there. Been together ever since.
Wow, ain't that cool?
I love her to death. She's just the best. I mean, you know, when you can be with somebody for 12 years and you're getting ready to leave for 3 weeks, and she obviously misses you. You still miss each other that much.
Right.
You know, it's a pretty cool feeling. You know,
That's right on,
and that's
man.
not always the case. We're pretty blessed, but she's definitely my soulmate. You know, she makes doing this a lot easier. She's, you know, it's nice. I've had other friends and stuff who've been, you know, in those relationships where they're
She's supportive.
quit
She's
playing.
supportive of you,
What are
too.
you doing that for? Oh, absolutely. You know, she, you know, I went to
That's what
get
you
on the
love.
bus to go do this run. You know, where I'm getting ready to go over to Europe and play in all these places I've never been, and she left me with telling me how proud she was.
Does she ever hit you up with, I want to go to Europe, or I want to go there? You know what I mean?
She does want to go to Europe, but you know what? I don't want her to go to Europe. But you know, we both agreed for this run. First off, going to Europe isn't cheap, and this is a boot camp run, and we're hitting the ground and we're going and we're not sitting still for. You know, we're gonna maybe have a day off here or there to catch our breath, but it would be hard for me to fly her into one country,
Right.
take her across borders, fly her out of another country, you know. And this is kind of the pilot run for the band in Europe, so it just made more sense for, and we agreed, it made more sense to.
Right. Well,
Let
when
me
you
go.
take
Let me
her-
go over there, dip my toe in the water, see
Right.
what it feels like and how it works.
Where
And
you
then-
want to take her
yeah,
when
and-
you do
yeah,
go
yeah,
and stuff. What's safe
and
and
then
what
next
ain't.
time, she said, you know, hey, if you're gonna, you know, when you go over there, if you go someplace you just really love, remember that. Maybe we can just go back there and have a vacation by ourselves. And I was like, that's great. I'd love to.
That sounds like more of a
Yeah.
ideal type deal.
Yeah,
anyway.
absolutely.
Right.
Although,
right.
you know, if we go out and do long runs in the States, I always, you know, we always kind of look at, hey, so what do you think about coming to Boston for a couple days? What do you think about coming to New York City for a couple days? Because, you know, a lot of cities that, you know, I haven't been to or she hasn't been to, we get to go explore those together.
Man, that's cool, dude. You're living the rock and roll star high life. Man.
I am,
You're blessed.
I'm blessed.
You're blessed.
Very fortunate. You know, I've gotten to do a lot of things in the last couple of years.
Right. So with Tom, what's the future with Tom?
Well,
Are you guys writing and recording, and are you just pretty much doing your old, you know, the stuff that?
I shouldn't speak for Tom. I mean, this is what I can say. The band, the chemistry is really, really good. Everybody's having a lot of fun. We're booking into next year, and I've heard
Take it
mention
one step at a time.
Yeah,
Still,
yeah. I've heard
seeing
mention
what-
of some demos being done. You know, worked on here and there. Some ideas being laid down, but I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, the last Tom Keifer record. I mean, it's really started off. You know, it was a long process. It was 13 years from beginning to end. I can't imagine if he makes another solo record that would possibly even take a fraction of that time.
Oh
But,
yeah, right.
I mean, who knows? You know. So I mean, right now I know that we're doing these shows through the end of this year. I know we're doing shows next year. We're kicking off with the Def Leppard cruise in January, which go to the Def Leppard cruise is gonna be awesome. They just added kicks to it, so I'm pumped about that. It's gonna be a blast. You know, Eric Martin and Richie Kotz. You know, it's just gonna be a good vibe. We're gonna hang, and you know, we may even do like an all-star kind of thing on the side too. That's been discussed. We'll see what happens.
No, that'd be
You know, kind
cool
of
too.
mix it up a little bit and do some jamming. Yeah, we're doing that, and then we'll see what the touring looks like in the spring and summer. I know there's ideas being volleyed around, but I don't want to be privy to them.
Right.
No, I don't want to know until
Hey,
I don't want to
understand.
know until everybody else knows. You know, so
I understand.
you know,
100%.
but yeah, you know. So I mean, right now things are going great, and you know, as far as as far as the band doing stuff in the future is this band. I think I think the possibility is really strong. But right now we're just all having fun.
Right. To playing music, giving people, a lot of people, I'm sure, is obvious want to hear the Cinderella when they come out.
Absolutely, and that's something, that's something that everybody is happy to do. I love playing those old songs.
Now I gotta ask you this.
Okay.
I gotta ask you this. When you're up there and you're playing an iconic Cinderella hit like Nobody's Fool, or Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone, and you're up there playing it mid-song and you're seeing thousands of people out there singing along, do you ever like just about shit your pants? Just freak out? Like, damn, I'm up here. This is me. And this is Tom, and we're rocking. I mean,
well, knock on wood, I've never almost shit my pants. But no, man, you know what? It's cool because I've been in the crowd singing those songs.
right.
I've been in the crowd watching Cinderella singing those songs, and they're great songs. There's songs in that set that I look forward to playing every night that are those old classic songs. There's songs from that solo record I look forward to playing right because I think that solo record is awesome. And I didn't play a note on it. That album was done 2 years before the band ever got put together, but it's a great album, and it's one of those records that even there's a lot of cuts on that record that obviously don't get played live.
The last 2 times I came to see Tom, both times he was sold out of that. Has he got any tonight?
What's that?
Has he got any of them with him
I
tonight?
think we do.
The last 2 times he was sold out.
I could be wrong, but I think we have them tonight.
Okay.
So
Because
we've got cool new T-shirts tonight with photos of the band on it. So just throw that out there.
Hell
It's
yeah.
like, hey, buy some
Well,
T-shirts.
she's going to make me do that. So that's,
Absolutely.
That's one of the things.
You can get
When
one
you got
for
a
you, one for
girlfriend,
her.
they always got to get a shirt.
Absolutely.
I wear this. I only own one shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
She's got 400 of them.
You
But
just
So,
have a closet full of those.
so when you guys come to Nashville and you do the Eastside Gambler thing again, I'm definitely going to come down there and see. I mean, I like. What's the chances of Eastside Gamblers Great Affair show
In Nashville?
in Nashville?
It's happened before.
Right.
Actually, the time before last we played East Nashville, I got Denny hooked up, and the Great Affair is open for Keifer at the Mercy Lounge.
Yeah, he was telling me about that just yesterday.
Yeah. And they were great. They're such a good band. I was so happy to do that. Denny's such a talented guy. I feel like if the shoe was on the other foot, he'd try to toss me the same boat, so to speak. So, but yeah, we've played the Great Affairs before. I love playing shows at the Great Affairs. It's always a good hang. It's kind of, with Denny too, we don't really get to spend enough time with each other. We've been friends for years, so every time we do get to do those shows together, it kind of feels like going home.
Homecoming, like an emotional style.
Yeah, it's just a good vibe, and So, but yeah, that's definitely not out of the question. What we'll have to do is get this new EP done, and maybe because this really isn't that far of a drive. I would love to set up 2 or 3 shows in the Ohio area, and maybe come up and just do some piggyback.
Well, off
on
camera,
some-
we'll
piggyback
talk
on some-
about that when we
piggyback
off
on
this.
some greatest shit.
But I got
greatest
something
shows,
in my
yeah.
head I'm thinking of right now, and we'll talk about that off camera. But I know you're busy. I know you got a huge show to get ready for. Me and Jim Shue will make us a trip down to Nashville and watch you guys. You're in with me, Jim. You're in with me, brother. And we'll hang out, Denny Smith. We'll have a great time. But man, you rock and roll tonight.
Cool.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks a lot.
And we'll see you guys next time on Less is More.